I know she suffered. Joy suffered. But I will say this. Listen, I predicted the Clippers and Glenn Rivers. We don't call him Doc anymore now that he's in Philly. And Ty Lue to lead their team to a championship. They couldn't do it. They couldn't even make it to the Western Conference Finals. No excuses. No excuses. I said if they did win, I would give them their respect. LeBron James, I'll say this here, Colin, of course, the media and the critics, they won't use this quote because they always want to go after me as a hater, and I am a hater. I'm proud of being a hater. He's not the greatest player of all time, but I have to say, after everything that he's done year after year after year, and we know he takes care of his body, we know that he has a great trainer. I know there's a lot of other players that have great trainers and take care of their body. What's under the beard? What's under the beard? The man just keeps doing it after time when you think he can't do it. He has the greatest career of anybody that's ever played professional basketball. Cumulative. And if you're going to play 43 years like he's playing 43 going into his 44th year, and you're that good, you'll make it to the championship as much as he has. They got AD. They didn't get Kawhi. They were the number 1 seed in the West before the coronavirus. Obviously, the devastating loss for Laker Nation of Kobe Bryant. LeBron was beautiful that night at Staples Center. They overcame adversity. They made it to the bubble. And he arguably had his best season ever. Yeah. I mean, we can give MVPs to whoever we want to give MVPs, but he really is the MVP of the Los Angeles Lakers. He needs to give some of that MVP trophy to Rondo, because when the chips started getting weird in the bubble and they got weird for everybody, he started flopping and flailing and looking around and rolling his eyes. Rondo was playoff Rondo. They did it with AD, KCP, the pizza man, Caruso, who I was wrong about. He was a very good defender. He's very consistent, tough-nosed and all that stuff. Yeah. And the Lakers did it. There's no asterisk. There is no asterisk. But I will say this, and Colin, and you dig deep, you think about these things. Is there another player that they competed against who's ever won an NBA championship during this run best Iguodala? And he's not the same Iguodala that he was. He's still great. He's a great leader. He's a national book best-selling author, and I love Iguodala. But they didn't compete against anybody else, and you can't choose who you compete against. They dismantled Dame and them. They dismantled the Houston Rockets. Jamal Murray tried his best. They were able to super downsize Jokovic. And then they played against a Cinderella team who pushed them to the brink without their leading scorer. And their inside presence was not himself, obviously, with the Miami Heat. That being said, and I'm not taking anything away, and I hope it doesn't seem like I've took anything away, Colin or Joy. They won the championship. And if I had to bet, and I'll ask you this question, because I know you have a lot to say. If you had to pick one player going into next season, whether it starts in December or it's looking like it's going to start in January, if you had to pick one player going into next season who you'd want to best assure one season that you'd win a championship, who would it be? Because I would say, and I hate saying it, Colin, I would say I would pick LeBron James to be that player to guarantee me a championship next year. And I do not like saying it, my friend.
No, I completely agree, and I didn't think that a year ago. I think when they write the book on LeBron James, the second chapter is availability, durability, never misses a playoff game. And, this bubble really tested people above the shoulders. It was hard. I mean, I've said before, I get tired of Disney World vacationing. The idea of working at it for 3 months, I can't even go there. And I will say this, is that LeBron James' mettle, the toughness, that to me separated him from Harden, from Kawhi, from Paul George, from Giannis. It wasn't just the physical stuff. That his ability, it's funny, the bubble started out and they didn't play well for the first 2 weeks. They did not. And Avery Bradley opts out. That didn't sit well. They didn't play well initially. It was a young players bubble for the first month. and something with LeBron. A month in, they flipped a switch, and I thought they were so good mentally. Now, I will say this. He's done a little gloating in the last week, a little gloating. I know you're not a gloater. That probably does not sit well with you.
No, I'm not a gloater. I'm a very shy, humble, humble about my accomplishments, humble about my looks. I could sit here and just pose like, look, I could do that all day, but that's too easy.
Yeah, right,
if the cheekbones, I could go like this, boom, you got the cheekbones and the jawline. I could do that. I don't use my looks. Listen, he's not going to be the same way Michael, Larry, and those guys are. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know why he's talking about his respect. He wants his respect. Of course you got your respect. He can do what he wants to do. He earned it. And the toughness that a LeBron James shows year after year when you have the money, you have the contract. You got guys in every sport that when they get the money, they have the contract, they don't care. Tom Brady, he's got the money, he's got the contract, he's got the cheekbones, and he's got that thing on his chin. It's not about that for these certain guys. And it's a rarefied air for guys that it's about the winning every single year. And they were the toughest. Obviously, he's got young kids. He's got middle age kids. He's got a wife. He didn't want to be there, just like no one else wanted to be there. It wasn't the ideal situation, but they did it. And he put the battery in his back of every single one of the other Lakers that chose to show up. No other team did. The Clippers certainly didn't do that, and they were a huge disappointment. The Miami Heat, they have the toughness too. They didn't have the talent. And I can't take anything away from him. He could gloat all he wants. I still consider him the fakest guy in the NBA.
Oh, come
when
on.
his Last Dance documentary comes out and people decide not to be so loyal to him, we're going to find out about what it was really like to play with LeBron James in Cleveland, second time in Cleveland, Miami, Lakers. I'm sure Kyle Kuzma would probably have a lot to say about LeBron James. I'm sure some of these young NBA stars will probably be like, yo, this guy, he ain't what you appear to be. But you know what? None of us are exactly what we appear to be.
That's right.
None of us are. I mean, people see me here. They see a great guy, a sweet guy, a loving guy. I'm tough behind closed doors. I'm tough behind closed doors.
Me
in
too.
Negotiation.
Yeah.
So I could break his chops all he wants. The bubble situation was set up perfectly for him. No distractions. There were no guys on the sidelines with brooms. I brought that broom to Cleveland, and let me tell you something, Colin and Joy. I haven't been given NBA access since that game in Cleveland. I would get the courtside, I'd get the this, I'd get the tickets, the laminates. I showed up with a broom in Cleveland for Game 3 just to help clean up. They did it in 5 at Oracle. I brought the plunger. They shut me down. That being said, I can't take anything away from what the Lakers and LeBron James did this year. And trust me, I've thought and tried to figure out every single angle that I possibly could to take something away from them. They are the champions, period. That's it. What can I say?
All right. 90 seconds. I want this, though. You're a New Yorker. You live in L.A., but you're a New Yorker. I know, it's funny. They're terrible at everything. So let me just say this. Are you a Giants or Jets fan?
I'm a Giants fan, but I love both teams.
Okay. No, I get it. I think that's cool. I like that. I mean, I root for both teams in L.A. I think it's cool when people root for both teams. Let me ask you this. Let's say the Giants go 2-14, Jets 1-15. Would you move off Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones for Trevor Lawrence?
Yes.
Okay, both. You'd move off both.
Yes, I would move more off of Sam Darnold than I would off Daniel Jones. But listen, man, look at what do you mean? What did you say? You predicted that between the two teams they'd win 3 games?
Yeah.
I thought Daniel Jones was going to take a step forward. He hasn't taken a step forward, but I believe in his talent more. Sam Darnold, same thing. Like, I don't think they're that guy. I think they're guys that could, if they continue to be starters, you're never going to get anywhere. We're going to be having this discussion when I start to go gray. And I don't want to continue to have this discussion. Neither one of them are Eli Manning. And it's disgusting what's going on with New York sports right now.
Terrible.
Between the two of them. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. No, and Trevor Lawrence is a once-in-a-lifetime guy, so they always say if you know a guy, you can't find a flaw in a quarterback, draft him, and he really doesn't have a flaw. People nitpicked Andrew Luck. The kid doesn't have a flaw. Big, mobile, arms, smart, works hard.
Take him.
Yeah,
Take him right now.
Yeah,
we would love him in New York for either team, and both teams are suffering, bleeding.
Yeah. All right, he's an actor. He's doing stand-up at the Bay Area, October 23, 25 at Tommy T's, and we appreciate you having on the show. Hey, the weather's going to cool down in Los Angeles. Why don't you just go for a long walk? You seem stressed out. Go for a nice long walk.
No, I don't. Does my face seem stressed, Colin?
Yeah, totally, completely. So just go for a long walk, chill out a little bit. You seem very stressed. But when your teams all lose, that's what happens.
Colin, what do you do? Wait, let me see. Am I smiling right now? Just try. I'm going to try to smile.
Right. That's not smiling. That is not smiling. That looks you look grief-stricken and anxiety-ridden. That's not a smile. That's a guy that has all his favorite teams are losing. That's what a smile is for a guy that can't win a bet and can't win a game. So just medicate a little and go for a long walk. I said medicate a little. I didn't say a lot.
All right.
I appreciate little melatonin tonight. Get a good night's sleep.
Yes.
You'll be good. That's what I meant. That's all I meant.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Michael Rapaport. Good stuff. RecTech, more than a grill, a lifestyle. Smart grill technology. RecTech with a Q.com. RecTeq.com. Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.